Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today I'm going to answer a question that I've been getting a lot on the channel, and that's about how does the new 46mm or the 42mm Galaxy Watch compare to the classic, Frontier, or even the Sport, and should it be something that you consider to upgrade? Let's go check it out. So guys, in this video we're going to cover should you consider upgrading to the new Galaxy Watch from your Classic or Frontier Bluetooth or LTE. I'm not going to go through a spec by spec comparison because really going to focus on daily usage. I have all these watches. I use them on a daily basis. This is my daily driver, which is my LTE Classic. This is a Classic, or actually a Frontier LTE, and then you notice the 42mm gold, and then I'm sporting right now the 46mm. So really the review is going to be about should you upgrade, and then what are some of the features that are the major differentiators for me, and also about are your accessories compatible, especially if you've had one of the legacy watches. Let's get right to it.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell icon to get notified when new videos become available.
So now the very first thing, for those of you who are fans of Samsung products, and if you're considering upgrading, go ahead and do it. Because I'll tell you, really the reason why you'd be upgrading is because of the look. It comes down to, do you like the gold, the rose gold watch? Is it something that attracts you? And if you notice, this is a band that we just reviewed on the channel, and it just dresses this watch up even further. I've compared this to just a Rolex, the gold Rolexes. They look really, really sharp. And this is something that if you want the new look, nothing in this video is going to change your mind. Now, if those of you that are still okay with the look of the Classic or look of the Frontier, which are really good looking watches, then the debate gets a little bit longer. So let's talk about what's different. Now, as we look at the new watches as they compare to the old, there's some slight differences, and I'm going to talk about the slight differences and then the major differences. So the slight differences, yes, you have slightly better graphics on the screens. The pixels are a little bit higher, but are they really, really noticeable? I'd say the answer is no. They can always make it better, and when you look at it, it always does, but it's not material enough for you to say, I have to have it. So yes, the screen looks a little bit better on this watch than on this watch, depending on the watch face that you're using. As far as the memory, as far as the battery life, I really can't tell a material difference between performance, navigation, as I'm using the dial, and as things come up, does one come up faster than the other? It's not that material enough to justify the upgrade. When we talk about the battery life, yes, I've noticed that there's a slightly better battery life coming from these two watches, but there's a couple factors there. It could be the optimized operating system that you have on these watches, which you don't have yet on this. So it's out still. Once we get these upgraded to the same OS version, you may be experiencing the same type of experience. When you talk about Samsung Pay, all of them support Samsung Pay, but there is a difference which we're going to cover towards the end, the major differences. When it comes to accessories, all the accessories from the Classic and Frontier, the larger watches which use the 22mm band, work on this watch too. So you notice right here I have a leather band today. This leather band is from Studio Straps. I have this, I'll keep this in the comment area. All the bands from Studio Strap 22 that work on these watches will work on this one. And you'll notice I have several here that you can see how it just changes the way your watch looks. And then we also then reviewed this ceramic one yesterday. So all your bands are going to work. If you think about the 42, all the bands that I've reviewed for the Sport are going to work as well. So this is a band also from Studio Strap that we had reviewed, and this one would work as well. So if you look at this, this is how this watch would look as you use these bands. So I have white bands, pink bands, all different type of bands, and the neat thing about it is that they're completely interchangeable. So if you do choose to upgrade your accessories, if you stay within the same I would say watch dimensions like the 46mm, you're going to get the use of the bands as well. So that's a plus. So now let's talk about some of the positives. The 46mm, especially the LTE version, has more memory than these watches. So you have 1.5 gigabytes versus 768. So that's going to be, in my mind, material. That is significantly more memory. That's going to allow for more multitasking, should allow for better responsiveness. All those things should be improved because it has more memory. Now, when it comes to another positive thing about these is that these have an IP certification that you could be in water, but they're not really designed for swimming. These two watches support up to 5 ATMs, so that is significant. So if you are someone who likes to swim and are maybe using a silicone band and likes going and doing this often, and my dentist is a swimmer, he likes going into the pool, and he's always asked me, hey, let me know when these will support the actual swim, and could do cellular calls as well. That is significant because the sport did not have a speaker in order to be able to support the actual swimming features. The 46 and the 42 LTE versions, which have speakers and mics, so do these, will work as you swim. So that's a major, I would say, plus and upgrade, especially if you're a swimmer. Now here's the negative, and there are negatives. The first negative is that both 42, 46, and the LTE versions do not have the card swipe technology that makes these watches so great. So the technology, this is a magnetic strip type technology that simulates card swipes, allows me to, at any place that does not have NFC, to use my watches to pay. So I could go to Lowe's, Home Depot. In Chicago, we have our local Mariano's, which doesn't really have the support for tap and pay. And I call this swipe to pay. So what I do is, as I'm wearing my watch, I just swipe like this, and it simulates the credit card swipe. And then there's a tap to pay where you actually go blip, and you pay that way. Well, I'm able to use my watches because they have that magnetic strip, that swipe technology built in, just like the Samsung phones do, in every store. The only exception is gasoline stations because the credit card has to go inside of the machine. You will not be able to do that with any of the Galaxy Wear. The Galaxy Watch actually only supports NFC tap to pay. So if you don't see that little kind of Wi-Fi symbol coming out of the side of the terminal that you're going to pay, it's not going to work. And be warned that I've been in stores where even if it has a symbol, the cashier or the person that I'm checking out with tells me that it's not enabled, even if you see sometimes the logo there. So if you are huge into using your watch as a payment source, and depending on the state that you're in, because I'll tell you, in California, where I do a lot of work, there is, NFC is pretty prevalent, but in Chicago, it really isn't. In Chicago is where I reside. I find that the swipe to pay is more convenient. That's a big difference. Now, the last thing I just wanted to mention, what if you don't have a classic Frontier, you don't have a smartwatch at all from Samsung? Right now is the best time to buy because these two watches are absolutely fantastic watches. They basically, on whatever style you like, if you either like, a black one like this or one that looks more like a dress watch, you could get these at a significant discount, and they are great watches. Again, I use this on a daily basis. This is actually my son's. So we're using these every single day, and I get great battery life. While this one right here has slightly better battery life, I'm getting well over 2 days of battery with my watch, not even in the power saving mode. In power saving mode, it even goes further. So if you're looking for a smartwatch and you haven't invested in one yet, now is the time to get one of these because they're cheaper. They're in some cases up to $100 cheaper. But if you're looking for the latest and greatest, really, there's no reason why you shouldn't pick up either the 46 or the 42, black or rose gold. So guys, I hope this helps you think about if you should upgrade or not, or purchase the new Galaxy Watch, or you should stay with the Classic and Frontier. This is the stuff that comes to mind to me. Again, it's about the practicality and should you upgrade or not. Let me know what you think about the upgrade. Comment in the bottom area below. Would you upgrade just on the look? Would you upgrade just on the features? Or are you really put off with the fact that you don't have that swipe to pay technology to be able to use your watch independently from your phone, which I know I'm a heavy user of? I'd like to hear from you. Thanks for watching.